right, everybody, we are live, and I want to welcome you and thank you for joining us today on #NoLimits. I'm your host, Shelley Kenow. #NoLimits is about people that society puts limits on, but who have busted through those limits. Ophelia said in Hamlet, "We know what we are, but not what we will be." I believe this is true and that there is no better example of this than the caterpillar turning into the butterfly. The caterpillar literally dissolves and its cells reform into a butterfly. As the butterfly emerges from the cocoon, it has to struggle in order for its wings to be strong enough to fly. Obviously, this is no easy process, but neither is breaking through limits that our society has put upon us. But just like the caterpillar, when we believe in ourselves, we can accomplish more than others might think. And if we have a support system around us to encourage and facilitate our growth, even better. One area where I have seen societal and educational limits is on students who have learning differences that are aging out or who have aged out of the education system. And that brings me to my guests today. I have Theresa, who is a wife, mother of 3, and a fellow master IEP coach, along with her middle son, Sean, who is 22, an entrepreneur, and just an all-around amazing person. So welcome, Theresa and Sean.
Hi, Shelley.
Hello.
Hello. Can you tell us a little bit more about your learning differences, Sean, and how they affected you during school, and then how they're affecting you now? I went my phone again. It just popped out of the holder.
Wow, that. Okay.
So like, how do you learn best, or how was learning in school for you?
Learning best for me is like maybe at a short amount of pace instead of like a fast road. And when I was in school, sometimes I felt like I was in a jail, like I had trouble like with socializing and like writing stuff down and maybe interacting with other kids. So, but other than that, everyone was really nice and kind to me. And sometimes I would struggle there was like a lot of people in the halls, but there was a lot of clubs I enjoyed, and I most likely I enjoyed every minute of it, but there were some bumps on the road. But other than that,
we made it through.
Yeah, we made it through, and I had a pretty good time. So
Good. So your learning differences have a name, right? You have autism?
I do, yes.
Okay. So just for people to understand, I wanted to bring that up because often, okay, I give up with my phone today. It just popped out again. Sorry about that. So oftentimes people place limits on others with autism on what autism looks like in someone. And so that's why I wanted you to tell us the name of how you learn differently, because I want people that are watching to understand that it isn't all one certain set of characteristics. And so when you were going through school, you said that for the most part it was good and you had some bumps in the road. So school is behind you now.
That's right.
What are you doing now that you're out of school?
I am. Me and my mom are actually putting together a short, small.
Oh, we're teasing it out now.
Oh, well, no.
Well, wait. Well, let's wait. We have a really.
No, we're not getting it out of the.
We won't give away the secret yet.
Not yet. But my mom and I decided to open our own business of selling movie posters. And we went around the country, and we went to like 7th Street and like these little street fairs and events. Right. And we tried to file the posters and frame them, and we sell them. And and there's this one morning I have this idea of like trying to when I was thinking when the poster thing took off, maybe we can also add a store in the picture and make it into both a store with virtual like old like figures and
like vintage stuff.
Vintage stuff.
Yeah.
And with a twist of posters. So it's like a little bit of each from each generation, and we thought decades. So and the reason we name it because we thought about like getting an item from each decade.
Yeah, like 80s and 60s.
60s,
and,
80s, like from a different decade. So I thought that was a great name.
Idea. Yeah,
great name for it.
So the idea, actually, just to give you a little backstory too, Sean is a very, very visual learner. Anytime there would be any sort of content area, subject matter, science, social studies, what have you, he always learned best if there was a visual component, some video that he could watch.
Yeah.
And it just seemed like a natural fit. He's a huge movie buff.
I am.
We would be in stores and, music would be, running, and he would say, wow, that's the song they played during the credits of so-and-so movie. And I was like, you're probably right. So,
I'm not wrong.
You're never wrong. So, movie.
Is that really accurate or just your opinion?
Yeah. Usually
bit of both.
Okay.
But also add, it's both. To me, it's both a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
So. Like it's like for some of it like it's knowledge of like where it takes place and where it's from, but the curse part of it is like, let's just say that I'm having a conversation with someone or writing something down, and like she said, like the image plays in my head as I'm concentrating. That bit really upsets my mind, and I'm trying to focus, but I get distracted. So that's the issue of that part, but
and that's a good way to describe it.
Yeah.
Which made school and concentrating
a little bit more challenging for me as I was school hours. I was trying to I'm a slow writer and a slow reader, so as I was trying to learn, there was a picture of a video in my head as I was writing something down, and I had trouble concentrating on what was on the screen and what was on the board. And I and halfway through the school day, I sort of napped.
Yeah.
But
you needed a break. I mean,
sure,
you did a great job explaining. There's a tremendous amount of energy that goes into focusing on what's in front of you and keeping what's kind of going on, quiet enough to really be engaged. And so anytime they could pair something visual, that was Sean's best learning style. And so it wasn't too hard of a leap to go from, gee, this kid loves movies. How could we capitalize on his knowledge and make like a small business out of it? And so that's how we started. We just, local street fairs and Sean just blossomed.
And also there's this. Should I tell her the story of how it? You want me to tell you the story of how she first came up with the idea? Well, this was her idea.
Sure, absolutely, please do.
Okay, so she was in this meeting one day, and she was like asleep or something, and she's like,
sleep in a meeting.
She was in a meeting.
Yeah.
And then later that day.
Oh.
She was like resting, and she thought to herself, "What will be a great idea for like selling product?" And she thought, movie posters.
It was an epiphany.
Yep. So
it felt that way.
Yeah, and then she told me about it. Well, she reached out to me, and we talked about it, and I'm like, "Yeah, it's something I love." So she reached out, and the rest is history. So
and it did take a lot of trust and bravery, I think, on Sean's part, because
I didn't love it at first.
Right.
If I'm being honest, like it wasn't like my kind of thing to do.
Right.
But I went for it. I took a chance, and we've been doing it for 3 years. So,
we've got some
like
loyal
a year and
fans.
a half or something, and we have an Instagram now, and it's been building like a short amount of time.
Yeah, we're doing.
But we're pulling through.
Yeah.
And
what's been really nice, if I can just add one other thing, is that not only is it meaningful kind of work that actually plays on his, his interests. He's learning so much just in terms of socializing with new people, which is a challenge sometimes for Sean. He gets real nervous. So, these busy markets have a lot of different people, and but once Sean starts talking about a movie, it's just,
it's just
all those barriers sort of.
It makes me comfortable. Like it's the topics that I know and enjoy. So I try to so I can do this my way and talk about the things I like. And if it's someone like a stranger, I just like immediately like don't speak and like try, and they just look over other ways, and I get scared.
So you don't have one central location, or you do have an actual store?
Well, we when we first started, we went to different street fairs and events, but I don't think we're still working on the.
We're going to tease that out to you in a little bit.
Working on the location. We haven't worked out the exact location yet, but we're still working on that part. So
it was mostly street fairs, and this year we were meant to do several of the East Coast Comic-Cons.
Yeah, we're supposed to go to the Comic-Cons.
Yeah, but, we had 4.
Actually, 4 Comic-Cons, like these big Comic-Cons in like Long Island and
New York City.
Yeah, but thanks to this stupid COVID, we had to we didn't go. So
everything got canceled.
Yeah, so for any of my viewers who are watching, I'm sure you have picked up on the fact that Theresa and Sean speak a little differently than me, because you all are in the Long Island, New York area. Is that correct?
That's right.
Yeah, we're from Long Island, so you can tell that
our accents are really, you can tell, right?
Accent, so
that was probably one of the first things that I enjoyed the most when I met Theresa was her accent.
Right.
You guys made me say coffee a few times.
Yeah. Yeah. I met Theresa at the Master IEP Coach Conference in 2019.
Right.
And we just, I think, hit it off immediately. And I have been so blessed to continue to be part of her life. But yeah, there were a few, besides coffee, I feel like there were some other words that we, because I feel like Catherine asked you to say something. What was it?
I think it was water.
Yeah. But we were all at dinner, and she was like, "Theresa, say whatever."
No, Shelley. He's giving me encouragement that I'm doing the best I can.
Oh,
Shelley's just pointing it out because
she's a trooper. She's the whole
I'm
package.
a trooper.
So she just goes into a room and she welcomes everyone with the happiness, like I am. So it's our power. It
is our power.
It shine. We both shine in other people's lives. So both me and her, it's like a tag team.
Yeah.
So
So for anyone who's watching that is in the Long Island area, they would be able to possibly, if the world opens up again, see you at a street fair somewhere, maybe.
So now we can tease it out. Yes. So
what my mom and I predicted is to do it's a store, but it's going to be a comparison of different companies, different entrepreneurs that are on the spectrum.
So we're about to open up a retail location. Sean is calling it
One for All.
One for All. It's called
nice.
One for All. It's a shared space with a shared purpose, and it is going to be exclusive specifically for products made by entrepreneurs like Sean,
like myself,
like
they're also on the spectrum as well.
or
but
any social enterprise that hires
yes.
young adults with different abilities. We've got about 10 confirmed merchants. We're hoping to open our doors on November 1st. So we are actively, getting lots of interest in the area, and we are so excited.
That's right.
Because once the Comic-Cons, went away, there was really no place for Sean to show what he can do and how he can do it. And I thought, wow, there must be other entrepreneurs that are experiencing the same thing.
So what we predicted, I don't mean to cut you off. So what we predicted is to maybe share the same space as the others can. So it's like a full store, but each of us have our own section of our company and our business. Right. So it's kind of like a bit of like
indoor market almost.
Like a indoor market. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's fabulous. That's an awesome idea. Our friend Brienne, just when I said awesome, made me think of her because she spells awesome AU because it goes along with autism. So it's awesome in that regard.
That's cool, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's so exciting. Sean, I'm so excited for you and for Theresa. That will be an awesome thing to have, I think.
Yeah.
So Sean, I did not know that you were such a movie buff. And the whole Comic-Con thing.
Yeah.
So now I have to ask, how did you take the news of Chadwick? Oh yeah. See, and is it Boseman? What's his last name?
Bosman. It was, I didn't, it was a tragedy. Like I knew this guy. I saw him in a couple of movies, and he was an amazing actor.
Yes.
Like a really great actor. And I did not know that he had cancer, and he still had to pursue his dream of being an actor still. And
he fought through.
It was insane when I heard the news. I'm like, he
had such spirit too. He really just made that all the characters just come to life. He was excellent.
He was an amazing actor.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he definitely could have been part of #NoLimits because he did not let the cancer limit what he did or limit how people treated him.
Absolutely.
But was there was it like a type of cancer?
Yeah, we could talk about that later.
Okay, sorry.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Well,
he was sick. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, but it's a tragedy. But he was a great guy and a great actor. So
he will be missed. He'll be missed.
Yeah.
So Sean, do you have a favorite out of all of these decades? So it's not just called decades, right? It's decades collectibles.
Yeah, decades collectibles is yes. So it's right now it's movie posters, but it's music. He loves music icons, and video games, anime,
TV shows like that.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Wow, that is very, very much covering everything. Because in my brain, my husband and my daughter are very much into Marvel. And so over the last 20 years, I have gotten into Marvel. I am nowhere near as, proficient in it as what they are. I mean, they can sit and have hours long conversations.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Like we had this idea of, speaking of MCU or Marvel, my family and I had this idea of making a list of the first Avenger all the way down to Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
And we made a list of every movie that was it was in order, but how the storyline went. And we can send you a copy, and maybe you and your husband and your daughter can watch them. So
as soon as when the pandemic hit, we that's what we decided to do was go through the Marvel universe. Based on not when the movie came out,
but how the storyline went out. So it's not.
They probably wouldn't need that as much as me because they seem to be able to go, oh yeah, this is connected back here.
Yeah,
I'm like, wait, no, because that movie came out after. So this, and I get it all confused. So that might be something that would help me carry on better conversations with them if I sat down and watched them in order.
It's our cheat sheet,
Your
but
little cheat sheet.
but if you read the list on the way that we put it out, then it'll make sense and it'll connect as
It'll
the
help you,
story
yeah.
goes on. So
Yeah. This is not a question, but one of our viewers said, "You are a beautiful tag team. I love watching you interact and complete each other's thoughts."
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
That's
Appreciate it, dude.
Thank you. That's been forever.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, we are a great clumsy wacko duo.
We are.
Yeah, when I spoke with them yesterday, Theresa said we're a little like Abbott and Costello, which our young generation will probably have no idea who those people are.
What would be an equivalent? I don't know.
Maybe Batman and Robin.
Batman and Robin. We'll take it.
Or maybe
yes.
Or Bill and Ted.
I don't know.
Adventure.
Oh,
Excellent Adventure, which, by the way, I thought was amazing.
Yeah.
Also,
yeah. Oh, you've seen it already?
They even made a third one this year. Actually, did you watch it?
No, that's the one I was wondering. Did you see it?
I did. Yes, it was really great.
They streamed it directly to.
Well.
Oh, not stream. I'm using the wrong word.
Well, it's on demand and also it's in theaters.
Okay.
But they did announce that they might open up the theaters again this week. So, or this week or the week before. But they might open the theaters soon. So
we'll be there.
Yeah, I hopefully because I love that
we miss
place.
It, yeah.
And
I bet.
in theaters. So
yeah.
So is movie theater popcorn like one of your all's favorite snacks?
Oh my gosh,
so good with some Twizzlers and the soda. Oh my god,
he's got a whole
so much.
Yeah,
I miss it so much.
He's got a whole meal between Twizzlers and You forgot your
M&Ms. Popcorn.
That's it.
He's good. Who doesn't love movie popcorn? Like,
right?
Seriously, like
nobody I know.
Yeah, and what sucks is that it costs so much money just for popcorn and drink. It's like $30 or something, right?
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like really overpriced. At least 2
posters. It is overpriced.
Yeah, it's really overpriced, and I'm like, what the heck, man? I can't just get like a normal popcorn, and it has to be costing like $1,000. Like,
right? Yeah, you spend 3 hours worth of your salary just to get a bucket of popcorn, but it might be worth it because it is really good.
It is worth it. So spend the money on a delicious kind of popcorn. So I have enjoyed this so much, and I really don't want to wrap up, but I know you all have. I'm just kind of trying to peek at my time. Sure. So I think we still have a few minutes that we can chat. Yesterday, when I first officially met Sean by phone, we were talking about how Sean deals with layers, I think is what you called them, Sean. Oh boy.
Yes.
And
layers, but
let's let us Shelley ask us the question.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm also a zombie fan, if you didn't know. So.
I don't even know what that is. That's how
we'll go back to that.
Yeah.
Sheltered I am as far as movies and such.
Sorry, you're asking us.
No, that's okay. So you referred to it as layers, and then you spoke to me about it's kind of like the difference between a peanut butter sandwich.
Yeah.
And then your mom Theresa, you had a very descriptive way of talking about the hero sandwich. So can you describe that hero sandwich like you did yesterday?
Sure. So,
or maybe even a BLT.
A BLT is a little bigger. So something, and if you could picture, Sean likes to describe.
I'm thinking more of a BLT than a hero sandwich.
Okay, so we'll go with a BLT.
Yeah, because it's a lot bigger than the normal sandwich.
So one of Sean's gifts really is his ability to explain how he's feeling using imagery, which is you can kind of get it because he's such a visual person, and it really helps me to see what he's feeling without having to like prompt him or anything. And so the whole concept of layers, as parents, you're looking and watching for clues of how to navigate with your children. And whenever Sean would show an interest in something, I would, as I was saying to you yesterday, I would say to him, let's sign up for a course. Let's, buy a book. Let's go to, and all of a sudden it would be, I would almost take the fun out of the interest, because now I was putting on all these extra layers.
Yeah, and she goes overboard without it.
Overboard,
And
right.
I'm like, stop, just one at a time. Just don't go overboard. Just don't go over the edge. Just one little thing. Just don't make it worse.
And I liked knowing that, because especially when it came to school, and for our parents listening, it also helped to kind of gauge how much was too much. And as a master IEP coach, and looking at, I'm sure, some of the IEPs that you do as well, we see sometimes 10, 15 different goals that our students or young people are working on. And it feels like a layer. And Sean used to actually describe it also as trying to walk up a hill with sandbags on you. And I don't want to take that away. I'm sorry if you want to explain it, but
it's like when you're stressed and under pressure, and let's just say you're climbing up a mountain with sandbags on your shoulders, and like someone's like yelling at you, saying like climb, and
so between our
it's just
layers,
a lot of pressure, with a lot of intensity and stress. So.
One of the nice things that we learned going through middle school and high school, as Sean became a little more self-aware and helped us understand how he thinks and how he shows up into the world, is we just really started narrowing the focus on his interests, his abilities, and then started to kind of plan a life around all of that, right? Being very, very person-centered and having him sort of lead the way. And so our IEPs went from, the 10, 15 goals. I think by the time he left school, we maybe had 2 or 3 that were important to him, and that we got as far as we could with school, which was great. And, being out of school and now really having a self-guided, self-directed life has been very rewarding. I mean, I've seen more growth, in the past couple of years since we've been away from school than we did in school. So it's been nice to see.
That's good.
Yeah.
I got nothing to add. I think you killed it. So.
Okay. Well, that's good. So, so basically, I think you were saying that, just one step at a time, one piece of bread, and then we'll deal with that. And then we'll deal with the tomato.
Right.
Yeah.
So
and then once we,
baby steps, just like put one layer of cheese, and then like maybe some like mayo, and then maybe pickles, but at a slow pace, but like making a sandwich, but at a slow pace.
Because everybody eventually gets there.
Right.
To the best that they can.
Yeah,
so.
It just doesn't happen right away. It just takes time to go for what you like and what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
There are so many other questions now in my head that I want to ask you.
Oh, goodness. Go ahead.
So I may invite you guys back to another one of these, if you would be willing to come back sometime.
Sure. Yeah.
I'd be.
Okay, because I mean, like you were talking about prior to us going live today, the Walkman.
Oh yeah.
That's right, the Walkman. And what I mean the Walkman is that there's these these videos or these images in my head like playing over as I'm walking by or talking to someone, and it just doesn't turn off or it doesn't fast forward. It has to play through like the whole thing, and then the next video comes in. So it's there's no turn off button. There's no fast forward. It has to play throughout the whole song.
Which made school a bit of a challenge, understanding that there were inside noises and outside noises. And that's one of the things I wrote about, is that, when there's competition between what's happening inside and what's happening outside, it gets really hard to be engaged. Specifically, the way Sean describes it is he almost had to finish that thought or the image or whatever was happening inside, to be able to say, can you show that to me again? Like, can you explain that again?
Yeah, like you said, I get distracted because the image is playing like right in, like in the front row of a movie theater, and it's just playing throughout, and I'm like, I'm sorry, can you repeat that? Or I'm sorry, can you show me that again? I didn't really.
Another great image that you used to tell me about, I forgot to mention, was he describes it like if you go into a sports bar and they have multiple TVs with all the different games, basketball, football, soccer, multiple games going on at one time.
Yeah.
Like that, he said to me, that was sometimes what the inside of his
brain
felt and looked like.
Yeah,
so
like
that
all these games playing at
on
once.
Different channels
like at one time,
competing for his attention. And now you have a teacher or a goal that you're trying to work on, and it's just a lot of effort to make everything feel quiet. So
And so did you feel that your teachers listened to you, or do you feel like they continued to layer too much?
It depended on the situation, but I think most of the time they tried to find ways for me to understand, or I tried to ask them in a way for myself to understand, like in a better way. But I think sometimes they wrote too fast, or like they read too fast. And myself, I'm a slow learner and a slow writer, so I think that. I think it's still challenging for the effect of like the video in my head, especially when I'm interacting with someone, or maybe even with the teacher, and explain to her that I didn't really catch that, or I didn't really understand what that meant. So
I think we had a select, as in most cases, you're going to have a select group of teachers that really understood and would teach the way Sean learns best. And then, as in most cases, you have other teachers, even within special education, that just couldn't quite understand, even despite his efforts to advocate for himself, which I think is also a very important thing. But that comes through self-awareness, that what things work and don't work. So we were blessed to have a select few that we were sorry to say goodbye to, but that made learning as best as possible.
That's wonderful. Yeah, I wish it would be more than a select few. Having been a former teacher myself, I wish I could, say that every teacher would be like the select few, you know, so that it would be the opposite, that, we had a select few who weren't so good.
Right.
Versus the other way around. Well, I do really hate to end this, but I do want to respect your time. And I know that you have another commitment that came up this afternoon for you to take care of. So I want to give that opportunity for you to be on time for that one. So it is almost 2:30.
Okay.
Well, 1:30 Central Time, 2:30 Eastern Time.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, Sean and Theresa, thank you so much. This has been such a joy, and I have learned things, and I appreciate your willingness to share. I agree with the person who said that the two of you are wonderful. I think you should have your own show.
That might be an idea, huh?
So, you guys just get on there and have your conversations between the two of you, and, the rest of us would just participate. So to the audience today, again, thank you for joining us. And if you liked this one, or if you want to follow us, please make sure. Oh, and wait, I have to go back. I'm sorry. How can they keep up with you, Sean? You said you have an Instagram page. What's the name of it?
It's Decades Collectibles on IG.
Yeah.
Okay.
Instagram. So.
Yep. Okay. Yep. Sorry about that. I always try to let my viewers know. And Theresa, if there are parents out there who see how beautiful a job you have done raising Sean, and they want to get some advice from you, or if they need some transition advice for they're children who are about to age out of the education system, and how can they get a hold of you for you to help them with their IEP transition?
Thanks so much, Shelley. You can follow me on Instagram at DeMarco Theresa. That's one word. Also, if you want to go onto my website, it's teresaanddemarco.com, and there is a spot for you to email me on there.
Awesome. Great. Okay. So now let me go back. And so, yes, if you've liked this, please like it, give it a thumbs up. If you're watching it on YouTube, if you're watching it anywhere else, please give us a like, follow, or subscribe, again, depending on where you're watching this. This week on Friday with Fran, which is also at 1:00 Central Time on Friday, obviously, because it's Friday with Fran. Sometimes I don't listen to myself when I'm speaking.
You're doing great.
Thanks. So we're going to talk about, as a caregiver, you often get depleted and discouraged. And we're going to talk about the fact that you need to be refreshed. And so we are going to just discuss, Fran is a caregiver, but she also needs caregiving. So we're going to just talk about some things, how she has dealt with that over the years, and hopefully give some ideas of maybe ways that caregivers haven't thought of in order to take care of themselves, as well as the one that they're taking care of. And then next week on Hashtag with No Limits, I will be talking to Katie and Rachel. Rachel is, I think she's probably early 20s now. She was born with Wolff-Hirschhorn syndrome, and it's an extremely rare genetic disorder. And she's been busting through limits throughout her life too. So join in for either Friday with Fran or Hashtag No Limits next week right here. And again, I'm Shelley from Shelley Kenow IEP Consulting, making the world better for all, one IEP at a time and through limitless possibilities.
Awesome.
Okay.
Bye.